Remember all the cackling hens and denutted dudes? We said DC will be like Germany in the 30s because Trump's moving in. Here's what one person thought. Here we go.
Y'all said DC was going to be looking like Germany in the 1930s. If you go around DC and talk to the residents after Trump's decision to federalize the city, it sounds like the residents pretty happy to me. It's crazy. Every time Trump do something, y'all had this emotional ass outrage. Then the shit that y'all say is gonna happen never happens. Just like y'all said, we was gonna be slaves again when he got elected. But anyway, after it doesn't happen, it's straight silence. Then y'all bitching about something else. Make it make sense.
You can't make illogical idiots make sense. It's impossible. You just have to move on. Let the Billy Karens and the chattering class that goes on and runs all this BS from Trump's going to have Germany like DC to the vax is going to make it. You got a cone of silence. You'll live forever if you take the COVID vax. To the jobs report, oh, Biden was getting all these jobs. Now we're finding out, no, they weren't. This ish has got to end and end extremely quickly, or we're all doomed. Caroline Levitt, and we'll hopefully get some more of this, she blasted the media for their cover-up, not talking about that sweet young lady, Ernia, who got murdered, stabbed to death on the metro train in Charlotte, and they wouldn't even cover it. Oh, because the black man said, oh, I stabbed that white girl? What a bunch of hypocrite, racist, communist pieces of crap. Love Caroline, who called him out. Here's a short clip.
Many outlets in this room decided that her murder was not worth reporting on originally because it does not fit a preferred narrative. Many of the journalists in this room spilled plenty of ink trying to smear Daniel Penny for defending a subway car from a deranged lunatic in New York City, but none of those same reporters lift a finger to write stories about an actual murderer. Here's the truth that every American must know. Too many innocent people across the country continue to pay the price of the failed experiment known as cashless bail that has been championed by the Democrat Party for years.
They're all frauds. Totally 1,842%. Just like this. So she mentioned the Daniel Penny case versus the black dude who says, yeah, got me a white girl. Daniel Penny, who stopped a murderer, and they could every day, 24/7, 365. Oh, the evil white man is out there stalking the black man. They didn't even report this. They didn't report the black dude multiply stabbing the white girl, and then they got him on tape. Oh, got me a white girl. That there is no pun. If that guy is proven guilty in Charlotte, again, there's no freaking punishment. None. That is even close to being justified. Even the Bible, an eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. No, 27 eyes. 152 teeth. Jeez. And then these clowns. Took them what? CNN 3 days and they come up with this?
Horrific new video of a Ukrainian refugee's murder caught on camera. It is absolutely horrific. Trump is now seizing on this to push his nationwide crackdown.
Trump, look, The gentleman, Trump is using this to push his nationwide crackdown. No, you ignorant C. Ignorant C over there. 4-letter word, and the last one is T. Just like the man we run the intro in. Oh, Trump this, Trump that, Trump, everything's Trump's fault, or he's doing this or that. Exactly 180-degree opposite. Shut the bleep up. People should tune these people out, not vote for the DC. Roy Cooper, the mayor, or the former governor now running for Senate. No Cassius bail. Let the crooks out. So did Stein, the governor now that was attorney general, and now this. Coddled the criminals. Of course, y'all didn't want to learn nothing from California. Been warning you. 14 times let out of jail, no bail, this, oh, he's a poor tortured black man. You know, it was those white judges and cops. We are done. We're totally done with the stupidity that's been going on. And it's about time this stuff absolutely stops. Just like the Phillies Karen. And this is more symptomatic of what the hell is wrong. Here's the dad who gave up the ball, who shouldn't have, in my opinion. This is what he said.
And she just went on and on. I don't even remember what she said. It was, a lot of eyes on us by that time. And the ball was already in his glove, and she just wouldn't stop. And I mean, I'm literally leaning back as she's in my face, yelling and yelling and yelling. And I pretty much just wanted her to go away. And because I had a fork in the road, either, do something I was probably going to regret, or be dad and show him how to de-escalate a situation. So,
holy cow. I'm going to be dad, and I'm going to show him how to de-escalate a situation. And so somebody comes up and bullies your kid, and you give up. Oh, that's how you de-escalate a situation. Just told you, ladies, you're going to rue the day you turned all men into women. Should have stood his ground. Whoever, he said in there that, oh, like her husband or something. If that was her husband over there, looks like her, if that was the case, or brother or something, should have walked over and grabbed another C, Phillies Karen, and grabbed her and just pulled her away. In other words, but, oh, I'm going to de-escalate and all this. We got more clips on that we'll have hopefully later on, or maybe later on this week. Again, it's like, this is how you get to this point. They got the surveillance video and the tape of Carlos Brown Jr. saying, I got that white girl. After murdering Irana. I got that white girl. Again, Roy Cooper, all these pieces of trash, everybody, all the George Floyd, Black Lives Matter. Stick it up your ass. You are the main cause that we're in this situation today. Of course, Gavin Newsom, the little chicken bleep he is, won't do the state of the state. He tapes it in, and of course, What's he do? He blames Trump. It's all Trump's fault. There's the right one. Has a relentless, unhinged obsession with California and all that crap. Stick it, you pieces. Tell him in a great mood today. Stunning, more than 50 shipping containers fall off a cargo ship into the water in the port of Long Beach. Happens at sea, not much. You usually don't see that at the cargo at the port. But man, I guess they're still dropping in. They're having a heck of a time with that. Who's got the highest poverty rate of all 50 states? California. Tied at the bottom with Louisiana. So when did you figure California would be the new Louisiana? But here we are. Oh, doesn't that make you proud? It's absolutely out of control. We got a lot more stuff. Dr. Kelly should be in. She wasn't able to be on yesterday. Hopefully we'll have her on at 5:30 when we join the Mighty Met, and a lot more exciting stuff in the next hour on the show. Yes, we do. We have lots of exciting stuff coming on. As some of the stuff that broke today was absolutely mind twisting. Maybe we're winning. I'm not. At least we're starting to gain some ground. Like the gentleman who started, everything they say that Trump is going to happen when Trump does whatever, it's always exactly the opposite. Armageddon's coming. Newsom's crowing. Oh, Trump has an obsession with California. No, he has an obsession with stupid idiots like Gavin Newsom. Running our states. Roy Cooper, now Josh Stein, running North Carolina into the ground. How many more days are we going to tolerate this? Like the black dude got me a white girl. They're emboldened to do this because we've created a society where we protected them. No cashless bail. They never made a mistake, never did anything wrong. Everything they did is because they want to blame it on somebody else or nothing. Nobody wants to take responsibility. That dad who gave the ball back to that Karen Philly, took it out of his son's hands and handed it to them, says, I'm de-escalating. I'm going to show him how to de-escalate. The de-escalation should have been shoving that frickin' ball down her throat. Oh, you want this ball? Okay. Choke on it. The dad should have waited for her to do something. Let her sit there and yell and make a complete C out of herself in front of the whole world. Or let her take a swing, or whatever she was going to do. But to allow that woman to bully you and your son, and you give in to the bully, what's the bully going to do? The bully's not going to stop there. The bully's going to continue. It's never going to end. And you're just perpetuating more people to do this. You're perpetuating that cretin that stabbed her Ira in Charlotte. You're emboldening the Roy Coopers and the Gavin Newsoms and the Joe Bidens. Look at his phony jobs report. We finally got EJ Antoni in there giving us the real numbers. All those, the last year of the Biden administration, all those numbers, oh, more jobs. We created more jobs than any president in to date and probably and in the future. We've already determined that. A complete frickin' lie. And Trump fires the statistics woman that was given the bogus statistics. And what is PMSNBC and CNN and ABC and all these other kooks? Oh, Trump fired this lady. She was doing such a great job. Man, she's Mother Teresa. No, maybe the Virgin Mary. Couldn't do, was lying and cheating to help Joe Biden. To give you more of these cretins that are going to go out and kill white girls. Or dads that are going to acquiesce and take a baseball out of their son's hands and hand it to a complete crazy woman. And I'm being nice again. Stop tolerating frickin' stupid. Please. Do not imitate California. We ran the once golden state into the ground. Poverty rate by the U.S. Census Bureau. Tied for last, as in worst, with Louisiana. When was California? I don't know, lots of good folks in Louisiana. When was California ever compared to the lowest poverty rate except this year? At the lowest, tied with Louisiana. You got Newsom running his big trap out there of how Trump is mean and did this and got an obsession with California, and he doesn't even have the guts to give the State of the State address live. He puts it in on tape. Because he does not want to be held accountable for his actions. If you weren't watching it live and in living color, you could never get anybody to believe this. At any time. They would say, you are clearly making this up. Yet we suffer, it seems like. That's why I was so proud of Caroline Levitt that 5 minutes, I think she went on, blasted the media over the Charlotte murder. This brutal and savage stabbing. It's beyond insane what we're doing to ourselves. You can go and look and at every turn, at every corner, it's more of this nonsense. 14 times that piece of trash was let out, no cash bail. Oh, you're being mean to the black man. Oh, because he's black, he never committed a freaking crime in his life. Impossible. Stabs that innocent woman who escaped the annals of Ukraine and gets brutally murdered on a frickin' public transportation metro bus deal. We are beyond insane. More from El Presidente on the Charlotte murder and more. Go.
For far too long, Americans have been forced to put up with Democrat-run cities that set loose savage, bloodthirsty criminals to prey on innocent people, really very, very innocent people. In every place, they control radical left judges, politicians, and activists, and they've adopted a policy of catch and release for thugs and killers. In Charlotte, North Carolina, we saw the results of these policies when a 23-year-old woman who came here from Ukraine met her bloody end on a public train. And here's a picture of it. This is the picture of it. And this is a picture of the woman, a beautiful young girl that never had problems in life.
Okay, when have you ever seen a president that had enough balls to put up that pictures like that and address the nation? It's only been one. He's in there right now, and that's Donald J. Trump. And he's speaking the truth and the way it is, whether you like it or not, raw and unfiltered, unabashed, unabridged, and unchained.
With a magnificent future in this country. And now she's dead. She was slaughtered by a deranged monster who was roaming free after 14 prior arrests. We cannot allow a depraved criminal element of violent repeat offenders to continue spreading destruction and death throughout our country.
Precisely. We're done with this crap. From the buffoon basses to the Bowser in D.C. who said the same stuff was going to happen, just like the dude that we entered with. Oh, Trump's going to come in and snatch people off the street. Like the illegal, oh, they're just snatching people off the street and from L.A. to D.C., illegal, they're running lawless, Germany, all this. Anything's further from the truth. It's their policies that brought us what Trump is pointing out today, and Trump is fixing it. Look how fast D.C. got turned around, and Bowser had to admit, hey. And now she's saying, we want Trump to stay and run D.C.
We have to respond with force and strength. We have to be vicious just like they are. It's the only thing they understand.
Now we're getting, this is why, back to the dad that gave the ball back. Oh, I'm going to show you how to de-escalate. Trump is not de-escalating. He's saying you fight fire with fire, you fight force with force, because that is the only thing they understand. You don't let them out. You don't let them out 14 times. You don't make excuses for what they're doing. You put them behind. If you would have been behind bars for the first 14 ones, Ira would still be alive.
24 of the top 25 most dangerous cities in America are run by Democrat mayors. 50 people were murdered in Chicago in recent weeks, with hundreds being shot. And it's time to stop this madness. The people of our country need to insist on protection, safety, law, and order.
Correct. Public safety, California Constitution, #1 job of every elected official. And 98.7% of them flush it down the toilet. Like the Riverside County Board of Supervisors for 7 frickin' years hasn't funded 1,200 jail beds, brand new in Indio. They're only seeing real cockroaches when they should see cockroaches like that guy in North Carolina or whatever. And Sheriff Chad, it's not enough to ask for it. You should be at every Board of Supervisors meeting roasting their ass, saying, these guys, those 5 are putting public safety and making my job as sheriff almost impossible to do, and making your community unsafe because these cats out of $10 billion are not funding 1,200 beds to keep you safe. 1,200 jail beds to keep you safe. Run around talking about everything else. Why don't you deal with what's here? It's what Trump's talking about. We're not tolerating it. Not tolerating in Riverside County. We're not tolerating in Mecklenburg County in North Carolina or any point in between.
We have proven that it can be done because we did it right here in DC, in District of Columbia. The capital of America was a bloodthirsty, horrible, dangerous place, one of the worst. And now it's a crime-free city, and we're going to keep it that way. It can be done. It can happen fast. All we want is, please, Mr. President, we need help. Chicago needs help. Other cities needs help. We'll do what has to be done because we're going to make America safe again. And that includes our big cities. We're going to make those cities safe. Thank you.
This is what it's all about. Like he said, all's J.B. Pritzker, Gavin Newsom, Buffoon Bass. Come on in, we'll help. Let's cooperate to make our city safe so we don't have to report these stories. It's absolutely heartbreaking, crushing, horrific. I don't even like showing the videos that have been released, and I'm pretty big on that. From the Charlotte situation, because it's just absolutely talk about something that could have been prevented. Had we just followed the laws of basic common human decency, loving your fellow man, these things wouldn't happen. Like Trump said, in 2 weeks, DC's cleaned up. We had Roland Fryer, turned around some of Houston, Texas' worst schools. They couldn't handle that. They had to turn them back into the worst schools. As we said yesterday, we brought out that report. Well, today, the national report card came out. Let's not even get to grade level. Basic math and English schools. Only half of our students in the nation, only half, are at base, not a grade level, just have basic math and English schools, despite record numbers poured into education. It's really almost unbelievable. Here's Secretary of Education. Hopefully, this won't be around. Hopefully, we will end this. You can point the decline to when Carter started the U.S. Department of Education in 1979. Prior to 79, we functioned and built the best school system without the federal government being involved in anything.
In January, the nation's report card delivered a sobering and heartbreaking truth about the state of education in America. Academic achievement is at historic lows. Nearly 7 out of 10 4th and 8th grade students are not proficient in reading, and the results are similar for math. Today, the National Center for Education Statistics released more data that shows this bleak trend carries through to our 12th graders. In 2024, 78% of high school seniors were not proficient in math, and 65% of them were not proficient in reading. At a critical time, right before students enter their next stage of life, more 12th graders are below the NAEP basic bench.
Let's play that again, because it's almost unbelievable.
Trend carries through to our 12th graders. In 2024, 78% of high school seniors were not proficient in math, and 65% of them were not proficient in reading. At a critical time, right before students enter their next stage of life, More 12th graders are below the NAEP basic benchmark in math and reading than ever before. What does this mean? It means that well over a third of American high school seniors cannot reliably explain the main point of a passage or define a key word used in a sentence. Despite billions in federal spending and countless well-intentioned programs, the achievement gap between students is widening, not shrinking. And this trend did not begin with COVID. It goes back a decade. Clearly, success isn't about how much money we spend, but who spends it. That's why President Trump and I are committed to reversing course and returning control of education to the states, so local communities with parents in the driver's seat can better innovate, adapt, and tailor education to their students' needs.
Which I'm all for, but not much confidence. Well, some of them. Like you take Moreno Valley Unified, Valverde, Riverside, down in the dumps. And we have bright spots, Temecula, Murrieta School District, Corona Norco, Redlands is starting to turn things around in San Bernardino. Chino Valley with the great Sonia Shaw, who's running for superintendent of public instruction for California. But Linda McMahon is exactly right. We've thrown dollars, unprecedented money. California, $24,000 per student, when 10 years ago we were only spending $8,000 per student. 3 times as much. And we're getting worse results. And we were getting them before COVID by the boatload. Man, it's a distressing, at times, situation. I want to run this clip of Tom Homan. He's giving it back to Mika on PMSNBC. Well, it still says that. I don't know why it doesn't say MSNBC now, or whatever they're trying to do. Here's a short piece.
I see on the show this morning, you have Governor Healy talking about ICE doing enforcement operations at a church. False. Didn't happen.
They were parked there. They did not do an
no-
operation there. She said
They were parked there. They were parked there. Well, good. They can't park in a public street like it was in LA. They were parked in a federal parking lot. Some clown, they're going to bust the Home Depot and all hell breaks loose.
they were parked in a public space legally.
But to say that and to push that out there puts fear in the immigrant community. So let me tell you
To
what's
do
happening.
that puts
No,
fear
let
in
me
a
happen.
community. To
Let-
park the ICE agents.
So when you see a cop running down the street or whatever, you're just automatically in fear. You think they're, shut up. There's another ignorant C, Mika, as the great Dan Aykroyd said, Saturday Night Live to Jane Curtin. That caused a stir, and they termed it was late night TV then. Maybe we'll have to pull that clip up someday. But that's what we got. We got Trump. We got Linda McMahon. We got Tom Homan. We got Caroline Leavitt. They don't take no crap from nobody. And they tell it like it is. And they can push their lies and their stupid policies, but we're not buying it. It's not coming. No way, Jose. We're just maybe we're in one of those Renaissance situations. Hopefully we'll be to a point where we're finally going to turn this stuff around. Lord knows if we don't do it now, because we've let things get so far, that window of opportunity of changing it is getting ever more narrow. So it's imperative to us to get it done, to absolutely fix it. We got the people in place.
Okay, you got 30 seconds, Roy. 30 seconds. Looks like the call is coming in right now. So
we just need to have the gumption of a Trump.
hello, Dr. Kelly. We're about 20 seconds out. I'm going to put you on so you can hear everything coming in now.
And we will. That's why PatriotSwitch.com was created, for those who support America. Patriot.com.
IE Newswire Daily is on the air.
The following is a paid program. Views and claims expressed are those of the program producer and are not endorsed by this station. Opinions expressed are not necessarily those of radio station KMET, its management, employees, or affiliates.
There's that funky slide guitar music that comes on every Monday through Friday, live at 5:30 on the Mighty Met 1490 AM, broadcasting all over the Inland Empire in the aforementioned AM band. Join your vast video audience in the Evil Lippy Network, Rumble, X, YouTube. Check us out, subscribe, do all that good stuff. On that, lots of big breaking news today. Trump came out, Caroline Leavitt blasting all the ding-dongs out there that have got us into the condition where that poor young lady who got out of Ukraine with the mess that's over there and gets stabbed to death by a black dude, and now we got him on tape. Oh, got me a white girl. We just got to stop this stuff. All across the board, everything, all the lies we've been told, our education's in the crapper. We just had 50%. Not even grade level. 50% of kids in high school across America do not even have basic math or reading or writing skills. Despite unprecedented numbers of spending on it. The whole Black Lives Matter and everything and all the rhetoric and Newsom, he's got Trump derangement syndrome, blaming everything on California, on Trump. Well, it doesn't even have the guts enough to come in and do the state of the state live he sends in a tape. And we got a lot of stuff to deal with. But we usually do it on a Monday, but it's Tuesday. We have, as I've determined her, the supreme physician in all the world, expert on COVID-19, and just about everything else, Dr. Kelly Victory. Welcome to IE Newswire with Roy.
Hey, Roy. Thanks for having me and for accommodating my my crazy schedule and doing this on a Tuesday. I have to comment, if you'll let me, on this just horrific situation on the light rail in Charlotte. This young, innocent woman who fled Ukraine for a better life in the United States on her way home from work, and she is brutally murdered in cold blood by a crazed maniac who, it certainly appears by all, evidence that this was, in fact, at least partially a racially motivated attack. He said, he talks about getting a white girl. Can you even imagine, had the roles been reversed, had a white dude on public transportation knifed in the neck, an innocent black woman, sitting there, it would have been on every single news station 24/7. There would be, protests in Washington. People would be burning down buildings, flipping police cars, and absolutely demanding justice. And instead, we have a media that has been largely silent about this. Were it not for social media and the fact that you and I and others have the ability to repost and bring some attention to this, frankly, ABC, CBS, CNN, they have been silent on it, and it's absolutely reprehensible.
No, we have the picture up on the video. Zero mentions of where they got this cretin who's just getting ready to stab that lovely young lady. Zero times. They didn't even really mention it till today. And then they tried blaming it on Trump. How many? Every day. The Daniel Penny, the white guy who was apprehending a black man who was killing people, and it was Daniel Penny was the evil guy and was doing this and suppressing the black man and all that. We have the example today. We've lived it, and we need to stop this. We need to. So Trump was on with the tape today. Caroline Levitt blasted the media for doing it. We're going to go in, no matter whatever it takes. We're probably, at least in my opinion, we're getting down to the point where we have to do whatever it takes to stop this madness, or where it's going to be the demise of society as we know it, Dr. Kelly.
I agree. And the reality is this wasn't just somebody who could say, oh, here's a guy with a history of, quote, mental health issues. Let's be honest. This is an African-American man with a lifelong history of violent crime. He had 14 previous arrests for violent actions. That means there were more than 14, okay? He had 14 arrests. This is not somebody who's like, oh, poor him, he slipped through the cracks, the mental health system let him down. No, the judicial system let the people down. Let's call it like it is. This isn't a mental health system that didn't serve this individual. This is a judicial system that has failed the public, did not keep the public safe from someone who was well known. Once you have been arrested, 8, 9, 10 times for violent crimes, it is very, very predictable that there is going to be another one. And the judge or judges who were participant in allowing this monster to be on the light rail, sitting behind that poor woman, they honestly should be held responsible.
And that's the point. If we don't stop this, there's just going to be more of this. We let it go in the George Floyd deal and everything else. We made excuses. We made excuses for everything of that, like this guy. Oh, because he's black, he gets a free pass. 14 times arrested, and you're exactly right. He's done this more than 14 times. And you can probably figure anywhere from 3 to 10 times for every arrest he had, he's pulled the same darn crap. And we just cannot, if we're going to have any sort of society that's worth living in, this stuff absolutely has to stop on this day going forward, Dr. Kelly.
No, I agree. Otherwise, once you live in a lawless society, Roy, everything falls apart. It's a slippery slope. Once it starts to go downhill, it's like anything else. Once there's graffiti on the windows and once their doors are broken and the screens are torn, everything starts to go downhill. We have got to bring it back. One of the things that's been so refreshing to me is watching Judge Jean Shapiro pull. She has been amazing in Washington D.C. as I guess I'm not sure what her official title is. I guess she's the
she's U.S. District Prosecutor for D.C. Like Haley is.
Yeah, Jean Shapiro has been unbelievable in saying, look, I don't care. If you're 14, 15, we're trying you as an adult. We are going to stop these juveniles who are absolutely brazen, just brazen criminals. They sit in the courtroom laughing after their heinous crimes, because they've known historically that they will get let off. They will be, tried in juvie court, and they will get essentially no punishment at all. Jean, has been the first person who has actually come out and said in a long time, enough is enough. We are taking our streets back. And frankly, speaking of that, in short order, President Trump managed to whip D.C. into a totally new city with regard to crime. Why in the world J.D. Pritzker won't allow that to happen in Illinois is beyond me. Don't you think Chicagoans would benefit from having the same thing done in their city? If I lived in Chicago, I'd be demanding it.
I would say we know who the devil and all their disciples are now. It's very clear on that. But I want to shift gears Because last week when you were on, Trump had just came out with his post saying, for Pfizer and company, hey, release the documents. The next surprising thing he does a couple days ago, and I think it's an old video, but he posts this video. They're all poison, every single one, and it's a video about vaccines and autism and all this. But Trump is doing this is well, in a week. He's made a major turn from really, and this is one of the things I've always kind of mainly disagreed with Trump about. He was very vaccine, and then during Operation Warp Speed and all that, he was really into it. The whole vaccine scene. He seems to be taking a 180 and really looking at the issue and maybe coming to the conclusion by the time you're 18 years old, you don't need 72 vaccinations, Dr. Kelly.
Without question, Roy, somewhere along the line in the past month, President Trump has seen a burning bush. He is all of a sudden, he has gotten the lightning bolt. I don't know what happened, if it was Robert Kennedy or somebody else. Perhaps he has a family friend or acquaintance or the child of a close acquaintance who has been injured, and all of a sudden you never know what it's going to take to make somebody, wake up. There's no question, up until this point, and you and I have discussed it many times over the years since Operation Warp Speed, President Trump has been absolutely blind to the problems with it. You would have thought that, Operation Warp Speed was the best operation that ever occurred, in political history up until now. All of a sudden, he has, as you said, done a 180 where he is not only asking for and open to, but demanding the truth from Pfizer. He has put the words out there. I am hopeful that Operation Warp Speed was the success that I thought, but if it wasn't, I need to know about it. That is profound and it's absolutely so important because it opens the door finally for us to be able to bring to him the truth. It's hard to hear. I know that Operation Warp Speed was the crown jewel of his first administration. It does not diminish it. His heart was in the right place. He did do remarkable work getting, rising to the occasion. He was misled. Let's be very clear. He was lied to by people who knew the science. There is no reason that the president should understand the intricacies of vaccinology or immunology or anything else. He was lied to and misled by corrupt, fraudulent individuals who were at the helm alongside with him, and that needs to never happen again. But I am profoundly grateful that the president appears open now to hearing the truth.
Along with Robert Kennedy Jr., and I'm sure he's been the main public part or had the president's ear. What should we put this way? This is my speculation. At least one of the persons who's been in the president's ear, he's one of the most renowned cancer doctors in the whole world, Dr. Pat Soon-Shiong from here in LA. He posted this on the X machine. He says, we have to face reality. We're going to have to address the rising instances of cancer. For the first time in my career, I've seen 8, 9-year-old, 10-year-olds with colon cancer. For the first time in my career, I've had a 13-year-old child in our clinic with metastatic pancreatic cancer. His worst fears are coming up. He's seeing this, and he's been one of the premier guy, holds more patents, has done probably more research, as much or more than anybody is recognized. I'm almost certain he has President Trump's ear on this, and I'm thinking, speculating, let me say this, speculating, I think this guy is one of the ones that is turning Trump around, Dr. Kelly.
You could be very right, and there's no question that this oncologist is spot on. And the reality is, no matter how other people want to try to spin it, it's what's in the food, it's the junk food. People listen. There's lots of problem with what's in the food system. There's lots of problem with the lack of physical activity that kids get. Those things are all true, but only one thing changed drastically in the past 4 years, Roy. The number of bags of Cheetos that got eaten isn't what changed. The number of cases of, Coke with high fructose corn syrup isn't what changed. The amount of screen time isn't what changed in the past 4 years. What changed in the past 4 years, and everybody knows it, was the millions and millions and millions of people, estimated to be 80% of Americans who got at least one of these toxic shots. And Dr. Sun Shun, I can never pronounce his name. You know who I mean?
Yes,
I always botch it, no matter how hard I try. He is correct, and all of us in the business are seeing these horrific cancers. For the first, what we have termed, quote, turbo cancer, it's not only the rate at which these cancers spread and grow, Roy, it's the types of cancers and finding them in groups of people in whom they've never been seen. As he said, having colon cancers in children or people in their 20s, early 30s, advanced lung cancers in non-smokers in their 20s, people with metastatic pancreatic cancer, again, in their 20s and 30s, people who had breast or prostate cancer that had been in remission for decades, now coming back with a vengeance and metastasizing and being resistant to all forms of therapy. It is overwhelming. And this is a tsunami of cancer, and we've likely only seen the tip of that iceberg. Other things like blood clots, strokes, myocarditis, you see more, in the immediate time, but it's the lagging indicator is going to be these cancers that are going to continue to pop up, I fear, over the next probably 10 to 15 years.
You posted this on the X machine from cardiologist Dr. Assam. He states a reanalysis of Pfizer-Moderna trials in the journal Vaccine reveals an unconscionable truth. You were 2 to 4 times more likely to suffer serious harm from the shot than to be hospitalized with COVID. The data was there from the beginning. This gene therapy never should have been injected to a single human arm. Dr. Kelly.
Absolutely, and I reposted that because Aseem Malhotra, who is a well-known British cardiologist, I consider him to be a friend, and he was very pro-vaccine early on. He's vaccinated himself, and it was not until the vaccine killed his father that he had his epiphany, his wake-up call, and started to delve into the data and really understanding how toxic these shots were. And I've said to him many times over these past years, there's nothing like a reformed smoker, to be an anti-smoking advocate. Well, same thing. There's nothing like a reformed vaccine person either. He has become a very, very powerful spokesperson, exposing the data on these shots. And tragically, it took the death of his father for him to understand and really look into it. As I said, prior to that, he was extraordinarily pro-vaccine, was advising his patients to get the shots, and he took them himself. He is correct. The data were always there. I, as you know, was exposing it from day one, saying, no, do not allow this thing to be injected in you. And tragically, as I said, the numbers are that somewhere in the range of 80% of Americans got at least one shot. The good news for your listeners, we've said it before, but it bears repeating, is the good news is that the quality control was so lousy on these shots, Moderna and Pfizer shots, that about 80% of people who got the shots got duds, didn't really get any meaningful amount of mRNA, and that's a good thing. It's part of the reason why, why we haven't seen as much death and illness as we otherwise would. Only about 20% of the total batches of vaccine appear to have been really, really bad in terms of the amount of mRNA that was in it, or the DNA contamination, the other sorts of things that have led to these really disastrous results.
It's absolutely stunning. Some of the, I guess you drew a lucky lottery ticket if you actually got the dead vaccine. We got about a minute or so left, or anything else our audience should know? Go.
No, I guess I'll tell you, it appears that Robert Kennedy has had the shackles taken off. He is doubling down. He last week testified in front of the Senate for some hours, if that's what you want to call it. It was essentially, a feeding frenzy on their part. The Democrat senators clearly had no interest in hearing the answers to any questions. They wanted to sit up there, make a little speech, pontificate, and essentially call for his head on a platter. I think he did a great job pointing out their hypocrisy. Every one of them, Senator Warren, Sanders, and all the rest, have taken millions and millions of dollars from Big Pharma, and it's clear that that's why they are terrified of him staying around. Robert Kennedy continues to clean house at the CDC, something that has needed to be done for decades. He got rid of Susan Manaras, the very brief head of the CDC under his administration, because it became clear, and I said before she was confirmed, she's a shill for pharma, and sure enough, he exposed that she was. And Robert Kennedy has not been afraid to continue to clear house. And I think the firings have not been completed. Trust me, more people will be packing their bags, and that's a good thing. We need to restore integrity, honesty to those different organizations, CDC, FDA, NIH. It's the only way we will ever regain the trust and confidence of the American people.
Thanks for being on, Dr. Kelly. We'll do this again soon.
Thanks. Talk soon.
Dr. Kelly, as we say, saying it only as she can. Man, we got a lot of work to do. There are some positive signs, but as they say, or I have said, we're just in the first couple of minutes of the first quarter of the game in this whole deal. And we have to, just because we're making some headway, as we have seen, it's definitely no time to quit or think we've got it whipped. This is a time we're just really starting to hit the groove, and hopefully the groove will get even groovier as we move on. If you want to take a 70s reference, as we say, we'll hit some local news. ICE captures criminal illegal immigrant with 49 prior arrests. So we shouldn't go after these, all you clowns that are out there protesting or crying crocodile tears. Locked and loaded, not anymore, say Moreno Valley cops as they recover stolen firearms. 175th birthday of California, and Newsom mails in the state of the state of the once golden state. We're going to turn this ship around. DUI results from Rancho Cucamonga cops. Harupa Valley cops busting another one with the illegal guns and narcotics arrest. Coffee with a Cop coming to Lake Elsinore on September 26th. So mark your calendars on that if you're on there. Yes. And this is Trump's post on that poor young lady that got murdered. Let's reimagine the death penalty. Shouldn't have to say anymore on that. Jakey Rodriguez is in the quarterfinals for Toddler of the Year. He's from Hemet. So hopefully Jakey wins the whole thing and the IE can have the toddler of the year, and it would be a great prize for Jakey. Ramirez Valdez, 61, was arrested in 2021. He's been convicted of sexually assaulting girls in Orange County and Riverside. This is back in the day at Riverside Plaza. Yeah, we had goats and pigs in the middle of there for FAA, Future Farmers of America. Used to be big out here. Every high school had one. I don't think any of them have them anymore out here. And that's probably why half the high school students and probably everyone not only are not at grade level, that's even worse. 50% do not even have basic skills for reading, writing, and science. Probably because they never had to slop the pigs or milk the cow or mow the lawn even or wash the car. It's time we straighten this out. Cell phones. Another study came out. If you had a cell phone before 13, much more likely to have mental problems and all this other stuff. The stuff isn't rocket science. It's not hard to figure out. Maybe someday, and hopefully, well, let me say this. We better get our S together. And quickly. Because, and I'm not trying to be hyperbole or anything, but we're at that precipice. We're at that precipice and we're at that fork of the road. We're at that time. We don't have much, very little, if any, margin of error in this deal. I mean, this thing, it's a hard climb up the hill. The slide down is real fast. So hopefully we're going to keep climbing, because that rocky road, when you fall off the cliff, ask anybody, is absolutely no fun. That'll do it for today. Take it away, Sean.
All right, Roy. Take it easy. Yeah, you're right, man. These kids, I don't know what the hell's going to happen here. Jesus Christ, man. I swear to God.
It's looking bad. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe AI will save everybody. I don't know. That might be
God.
the only hope.
Good God.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, well, all right, Roy. Well, I'll talk to you in a couple days.
You got it. We'll see you on Friday.
Bye now.